Who would be a clerk of the course? It's a thankless task, isn't it, when conditions are like this? But fingers crossed we get action on Saturday. And fair play to Barney Clifford at Kempton and Nessie Chanter at Warwick. They've given them every chance. Now, the races on Saturday, both Kempton and Warwick in front of the ITV cameras are subject to 8 o'clock inspections. But I tell you what, boys, to get this close to racing, I think they've done pretty well because the prospects look bleak early on in the week, Joel.
Yeah, you said last night, I said, should I bother going through the cards? Because to be fair, I fancied watching the Traitors with a nice bottle of red instead of spending 4 hours going through these races. And I said, there is no chance these horses going to Warwick or Kempton tomorrow. Kempton looks like it was on after the inspection today. They've got another inspection tomorrow at 8, haven't they? But temperatures down to, say, -3. Do you know what? I really hope Warwick is on because it is a cracking card this weekend. And I think I've got some decent prices.
Oh, fingers crossed then. Frankie, what do you think if you we are betting, Ben? Kempton, Warwick, will we get the go-ahead?
Well, based on what you just said about forecast changing for it to go sub-zero at Kempton, that is slightly worrying. I mean, I woke up this morning, I'm not miles from Kempton, and all of the rain and thought, great, good news. It'll be on. It'll soften the ground out a bit, and it has been a lot milder today. So it's frustrating, isn't it? But it's just going to be what happens overnight. And that, as you open the show with who would be a clerk of the course, all they can do is be honest. And the frustrating thing about the weather is it does change. We don't know exactly what it's going to do we? So we'll go through the cars nonetheless. I'd be optimistic that we'll get some racing. You'd like to think one of the two would make it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, fingers crossed. And we've got one at Fairyhouse as well, and they should be getting the go-ahead, the Dan and G Moore Memorial. We'll talk about that later on. We're going to start at Warwick. It is the feature track, their big day, the classic chase day. Do you know what? The few abandonments we've had lately, there's some decent field sizes. We start with hopefully 13 going to post at 1:15, a 2.5 mile handicap chase. Frankie, let's start with you.
Absolute Napo, top of the market. Lucinda Russell, Moon Phases. They always send a good couple of horses to this meeting, I find. Carried 12 stone last time at Kelso, just got pipped up that long hill at Kelso. It does find you out, especially if you're carrying 12 stone. And the horse in third was back a further sort of 10 lengths, and the horse that beat Moon Phases was getting a bit of weight. So it's a fairly low level race. He's rated 110. No doubt he'll be a better horse than that in the future. I know it's boring, but you'd rather an 11-2 favourite than an odds on one, wouldn't you, boys?
You certainly would. Interesting. He's gone early, Joel. Napo in the opener.
I'm not as big on this one, but I went for Bank on Frank for Ben Pauling. Big eye catcher. First start of Fancies at Fontwell, ridden by a £10 claimer. It was so bizarre thing. Not bizarre ride, because it's £10 claimer. I think it was, first start, and you go, right, okay, let's go and have a look, see what we've got. And just see how we jump and whatever. Dropped out the rear and stayed on really well to force a dead heat for second. Bo Morgan takes over. I think he's coming 5 or 3. Yeah, he's coming 5. I like Bo Morgan. He won on Twig, didn't he? In the feature. Horse is 0 from 7 so far, so I'm not going over the top on this. But my tracker horse came in as Gold for Alec. And I've got to stop putting, you can put your own comments in afterwards. So I had Gold for Alec. And when you've backed one and it's been either given a shocker or whatever, you should see what I've written here. I'll send it to you later on. I'll keep it clean though. Very little effort made last time out.
So which one are you going with then? Are you with Bank on Frank?
Yeah, I'm with Bank on Frank. I did put Gold for Alec in there.
But you have to give a shout to your tracker horse in case it wins.
Yeah, too right. So there's 3 against the field. Have a great day.
Okay, we started well. Right, Hampton obviously chase 152. We're looking towards probably like the Broadway or even the National Hunt chase maybe. 6 go to post. This is an absolute belter, Joel. Obviously weighed out. Sean Bowe got plenty of plaudits for his win at Cheltenham, but sticky jumps with those 5 quick fences down the back made us catch him out here.
Yeah, I think if I was laying one this weekend, it would be weighed out. I've got 2. I've got Nichols one later on that I really don't fancy, and weighed out. I don't think it's a graded horse at all. If you look at all of the races, it gets a £5 penalty as well, doesn't it, for winning last time? So what's that? 11 stone 9. Last January in Grade 2 was beaten 62 lengths at Cheltenham. Moon Rocket. I always like this horse because it appears to run a lot better when it's backed. And I fell into a little hole in the early hours of the morning going through this. If you look at it last time, it got beaten at 3-1 on, but wasn't given a great ride by Johnny Burke and probably should have won that day. Before that, Doncaster at the end of November was a gamble and won by 13 lengths really, really easily. Ran on the soft at Aintree in the Sefton, which was pulled up there. The trainer had no explanation for this. It was unsuited by the ground. I really think if there's money for this horse, I prefer it as well to the top of the market weighed out, and at 11-4 or 5-2, whatever it is now, out the two, the bag of sand would definitely go on. The second one, Moon Rocket, yeah.
Okay, in for Moon Rocket, I got beaten a match last time out. Frankie, where are you going?
You're out for the jocks today, aren't you, Joel? I do actually agree. Moon Rocket.
Hang on. You're out for the jocks. I do actually agree. So you can take all the abuse. He says to me.
Well, I agree with your selection. Those 2 runner races, they never really hold us that from for strong of a form line, in my opinion. He had to make the running and then almost came back when Big switched back to the outside of the winner that day. But bar that, and it's not a bad performance either. The winner's not a bad horse for the green horse. I think he's had a decent career. He was a graded hurdler. He's pretty clever over his fences. You mentioned the 5 at Warwick that might catch the favourite out if he throws a few sticky ones in. I think just with a clean, smooth round of jumping, and he's certainly an improving horse. I'd say he's got a big chance, Moon Rocket. I quite like him.
Okay, that's us 6 go to post. We've got a real competitive contest a little later on, so over half an hour, 2-mile handicap hurdle, set to have 18 declared. A stone at top to bottom, lots of unexposed runners, some horses on a hat trick, some winning last time out. Pick the bones out of this one, Frankie.
Yeah, tricky old race this, isn't it? Funny one to get stuck into. But you'll remember he didn't get his chance because it was frozen last week and it was a lesser race. But I do still think 3 Pikes is interesting, given what we mentioned last time with him being well backed, Cobden being booked. He didn't win last time out. But what I like about him here is it's really competitive, as you mentioned, and he would be carrying 11-10 if it wasn't for Freddie Keevely, who is a top young jock. He is well worth his £7. So whether the horse is good enough, we'll find out. But I certainly think he's got the right conditions to put up a big showing here with Freddie Keevely taking off the 7. So I'm sticking with 3 Pikes, even though it's a trickier race because of the jock on board.
Okay, then. That's Frankie. Joel?
I completely agree with 3 Pikes. And there was a couple of big trainers talking about Freddie Keevely earlier on in the week as well, about how good he is. I had him between that, and I really like Soldier's Leap as well. Just super consistent. Won by, is it length and a quarter last time out? But it was the easiest length and a quarter you will ever see. Jack Andrews there, and he was posing. He could have done the locomotion. He could have done anything. He was looking round for dangers. Tomo would have said, looks between his legs, likes what he sees. And looks to have loads left. Look, so it's gone from 94 to 97 up to 108 now. But I think there's a load left, loads of improvements come, loads under the bonnet. Really.
Did you put this 3 Pikes up at Wincanton? It didn't go a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
You just said that. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, no, sorry, I wasn't paying any attention.
It was frozen off. It didn't go, or whatever it was.
Anyway, back with you, back in the room. The feature race then is the Classic Chase. I tell you what, I mean, I know it's officially what it's good to soft in places, because even with all the rain that we've had, obviously it was pretty quick beforehand. It's going to be on the soft side of good. Any frost in the ground, it's going to be sticky. 3.5 miles. It's certainly going to take some getting, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Down as soft, I think, officially now on the Racing Post. But yeah, well, it's not the biggest field in the world, but it's a good race, isn't it? And you couldn't look at this card without at least mentioning Nassalam, could you? Joel's smiling because
that's exactly what I was looking at that point there. I pulled up. Today's the day.
Well, by the time it gets to 2:55 tomorrow, it could be really, really testing. And we know that he goes through savage ground. He's not my selection, but I just think it's funny that he's been given so many shouts on this show. And And actually, you probably still got to give him a mention again. But yeah, I think it's a really good race. Long Press really interesting purely because of those 5 fences, and just him and Deutsche are a bit of a matchmaker, aren't they? You can see him sort of just caressing him over those 5 and getting himself into contention. It's a good race. Who'd you fancy, John?
To be fair, you can tick off. It's one of those ones that we always say that you can come back afterwards and go, "Oh, that's one." Splendid Grey's won, or Mr. Van Gogh's won, or Val Dancer's won. Jean Michan's won. That's the reason why they've been messing about with it. Look, I was looking at what time the sun sets, because I wanted it to be a load of the hurdles to come out, or obstacles to come out rather, so My Town could win. Now I've got this down of My Town either absolutely hacks up or falls. It's one of those. The ability of this horse, I think, is undoubted.
He's in the Gold Cup, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, when you see he's carrying 10.8, and then you've got Mr. Van Gogh 11.7 and Long Press 12 stone, it's so much weight to get, isn't it, for a horse that's obviously got ability? Yeah,
there's a lot of ability. I think it was 150 to 1 a few weeks ago for the Gold Cup. Look, I'll be back in My Town, just because I think it's the best horse in the race. I'll try and find some faller insurance from somewhere. I know you're doing best odds guarantee. Can you get me some faller insurance? And I will have to have my fiver on Joy Machan, because I've fallen this off a cliff for the Skeltons. I just don't know what they're doing. Horse may be no good, but there's something there. I think it's out the handicap as well, but there's something going on. So My Town for me will be my main bet, and Joy Machan. But anything could win that.
You're right. We are best odds guaranteed all UK and Irish races right now in shops and online. So take advantage of that. Frankie, what wins the Classic Chase?
Yeah, My Town. And if he falls, Long Press. But you've got to side with them. They were
you can't
so
change your mind halfway through. You can't go, 2 out, he's fallen. I'll have that one then.
Yeah, they've been so bullish, haven't they, all along? And it's obvious that he is better than his mark. So I think you just have to take that on, well, partly on faith. He's Cheltenham Festival winner. Touch wood, he gets round safe.
Okay, let's look at the Pertemps qualifier then. Obviously, what wins and what comes forth to give yourself the best chance of winning at the festival. I'll start with you, Joel. Top of the list, Botox has. You've had Botox.
Yeah, but not for a while. If you have a look, it's not great. Isn't it? Hang on, isn't it Botox Har anyway?
Oh, it's Har. Sorry.
Yeah. Proper posh and all that. Do you know what? I'll be looking at this race with really big open eyes. If Friendship wins the Lanzarote, I'll be all over this Lador. It was third to Friendship at Newbury. I reckon this horse will make all. The first run of the season at Bangor in November wasn't massively fancy. It went up favourable. I think it was like 3-1, 7-2, something like that. And made all, won by 27 lengths. Looking around going, it was a bit like a Nasalam ride when he won by 240 lengths. It was one of those. But yeah, Lador. So I'll be looking at Friendship that's about 10-15 minutes earlier on in the Lanzarote. If that wins, I'll go a bit higher, but I really do like Lador to make all.
Yeah, he was hacked up at Bangor, and he was a good third. And well, the protagonists towards the front at Newbury usually sign that the form is pretty strong, and obviously the Lanzarote could have a bearing on the market just 15 minutes earlier. What do you fancy, Frankie?
I think 3:32 tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute bog. I can just see Sean Bowen flat out for about 2 of the 3 miles on long draw and somehow get him up. I think you're just going to have to be tough here. And I'd side with Bowen.
Okay. There we go. And that's Warwick covered. Let's just switch tack and go to Kempton. Fingers crossed this gets the go-ahead as well. I'll just reiterate as well on your offer to start this year. We are now best odds guaranteed all races, UK and Ireland, both in shops and online. It's a cracking offer, and you can take advantage of that as well. We don't cap it. All customers available to it on all your bets. Is looking forward to getting stuck into Kempton then. Let's start at the 1:30. Got Juvenile Hurdle, Porquay Papa ran at Exeter on Friday, so that one I guess isn't going to go. The Skeltons look to have a good hand here with Precious Man, boys. Do we start with you, Frankie?
Yeah, you'd like to think so, wouldn't you? I think there was some comments about him losing a shoe when he was beaten last time out, but he went off odds on that day, and there's not there's not loads to go off full stop. They're all youngsters and some making their first start, but given connections, trainer, jockey, well backed first time out, you'd probably have to stick with Precious Man. I think there's nothing else that catches my eye anyway.
Okay, Joel.
Yeah, nothing else. I'm going to give some jockeys some praise here as well. That one horse town who made all, Paul O'Brien gave that a phenomenal ride, whereas Harry Skelton was sitting out the back and then he mangled the final obstacle. It was like overjumped, lost both of his front shoes, I believe, as well, and then was not absolutely knocked around. So it'll be 4 to next year. So I think it was 6-4 on, something like that. I think it doesn't really appeal to me, but it might be one for your little hackers.
Yeah, okay. The Skeltons obviously got their Precious Man. It's got some sad news coming through, and I know it'll appeal to you, Joel. Sadly, the Skeltons have lost Langer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel really bad now. They had stomach ulcers and all that, and we every week we're on here going, "Oh, stomach ulcers and all this and all that." He
had a heart condition. He diagnosed with a heart condition, wasn't he, last year, and sadly he passed away suddenly yesterday, I think. So that's news just coming out. So I know he's obviously a horse that we talked about a lot on the programme, and you were a big fan, the Coral Cup. But yeah, sadly Langer passing away. Only 4 go to post in Saviniaco Conti then at 2:40, but it's a good 4, boys.
You've skipped a race, haven't you? I wanted to go one race earlier to the 2:05.
Yeah, Langer news has caught me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just edit that. Don't worry. Right, 2:05 Kempton, boys. 6 of us go to post. 3 miles is the trip here. So like a 1 over 2 mile. The Doyen Chief was a bit disappointing, I think, this season. Welcome to Cartres, likely to be the market leader. What do we fancy, Frankie?
I like the Doyen Chief, actually. I just think I know he didn't quite get home last time at Cheltenham, but that was 3 miles and 2 furlongs and up the hill. He made it over the last fence, almost in front, or I think second place, and then just completely faded away. But back to a flatter track, 3 miles rather than the extended 3. He's won here in March, and he's a long way up in the handicap since then. But I think he's put in some reasonable performances. So yeah, I'm hoping just back to a more familiar race course for him will bring about some success, provided he's not knackered. He looked very tired at Cheltenham last time, but I think if he's freshened up, he'll be fighting fit and ready to go.
Yeah, you can ignore the P and the Hennessy when he kind of the start kind of messed him around, so we can put a line through that one. Joel, do you agree? Are you elsewhere?
Do you know what? It's one of those ones that I'd have me very minimum stakes, but for some interest, the outsider of the lot, ridden by our ambassador John Joe Jr., Beachcomber. Outside of the field, pulled up in November and December, but the stable hasn't been right around that time. And if you go back to December, won a decent handicap at Kempton. It beat that also Venetia's Ferrero Bamboo, wasn't it? By 10 lengths. 3 miles, good soft. I thought, you know what? In a race where I can see holes in many of them, including your darling, I followed that one off the cliff. After I remember backing that when it won its bumper. First day, it was a big gamble. Yeah, big gamble that day, and I've not really seen a lot since. So with lots of holes and everything, Beachcomber. So as soon as we finish this, get on to John Joe, and just see what the crack is.
Okay, yeah, it was one over track and trip. It was a bit disappointing over Christmas. I think an early mistake kind of put him on the back foot there, and he's pulled up the circuit to go. So maybe better could be expected. Am I okay to the Svinelka Conti now?
I guess so.
Only 4 go to post, but it is a very good 4. And we've got also at both ends of the spectrum, we've got Caliph de Belay, really just starting out, isn't he? Not seen much of him, but very promising what we have seen. Although what's disappointing in the Haldon Gold Cup. And then we've got our old mate Edwardstone, just turned 12 years old. It's a little 4 runners, but it's certainly quality over quantity, Joel.
Yeah.
Is this who you're massively against, Joel? You hinted at being against.
Yeah. I just thought, is he favourite because he's 6 and he's half the age of Edwardstone, and the trainer doesn't know about this horse. 1 minute it's the next 6 furlong sprinter, and then it's going over 4 miles. I don't think Nichols has got this one sorted. I think they're just looking around, and is it Plan B, Plan C, Plan D? It just happens to be in this race. Look, Edwardstone is 12, like we say. It's run 3 times over 2.5 miles, never won. And I think that'll just be sat at the back, looking to pick pieces up. So I like the 2 outsiders. And there has been a bit of money for Master Chewy as well. Was 100 to 1 shot in the King George, but in all seriousness, that was social runner. Won it, tailed off by 38 lengths or whatever. The angling here is the wind up before that, so it's second start after the wind up. So that might have been the reason. Give it a little run there. And there's some really big stats in there on the second run after the wind up. Only ran 1 time at Kempton, and it won in a novice chase over 2 miles. And I think the other one is more of a spring horse. So I've got Master Chewy.
Okay, happy to take on the Fav. Oh, Frankie, short price odds on favourite. Dare you?
Dare you back it? Dare you back it? Yeah. I mean, based on what he did at Aintree last year, he should be odds on, shouldn't he? He was obviously pumped in the Holden Gold Cup, but Thistleask won that, didn't he? Who went up however many pounds and then won by 10 lengths again next time. And your old mate, JPR1, wasn't that far off Caliph de Burley in that race. Oh, I don't know, Matt. Give me even money, would you?
And you play?
play it evens, maybe. Best odds guaranteed in the morning. We might get it. God, I certainly wouldn't be backing him. Put it that way. I wouldn't back him at 5 to 6 just because he hasn't really proven himself enough. It's not like it's a weak field. Eberstone, I think he's going to win, but he's going to set some sort of standard. Boomborn's been running in grade 1s and being not quite good enough, but this isn't a grade 1. And I don't think Joel's shout for Master Chewy is actually like that ridiculous, to be honest. So I'm not backing anyone. Can I have that as an answer?
Boring.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be player at even money. You'll be comfortable at even money, but odds on, okay. I'll accept that then.
Thanks.
Right. Let's start with Joel here on the Lanzarote, because obviously what we heard about, you talk about at Warwick. Are you a big fan of friendship?
Oh, very much so. There's the only negative. I've tried to play a little bit differently this season by, I'm a bit ADHD and a bit excited. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, having known me for a few years now, right? But I get a little bit excited. So I've got all the ticks and all the boxes and then go, well, he's carrying this sort of weight and he's never been over this trip. And forget all of that. And see, it's good stuff. The 12 stone is the only thing that puts me off. This horse is just, so consistent, travels so strongly, does it so easily. Should have won the silver trophy as well at Chepstow. That fell 3 out when challenging. Was it Cheltenham where it beat Navajo, Indy, and Bowen's on Fire? Won at Newbury last time. The only thing that puts me off is the 12 stone. But honestly, it's such a beautiful traveller. I'm not being sexy about horses, but I think this is it's up there with Nat Material.
Interesting, Nat Material. Then obviously it's a cracking contest, Frankie. You've got friendship at the top of the weight. Captain Teague, I think it's coming back for Paul Nichols off a layoff. Iberico Lords, a high-class hurdler. He needs to find his way back, beat the backspin over Fences. And then you got the Skeleton Exposed when a pied and off a low mark. So it's just one of those typical competitive handicaps with options everywhere you turn.
Yes, great race. Should be a fun race to watch. Iberico Lord just needs to come down 2 more pounds and then he can go and win the Betfred off the exact same mark he won it 2 years ago. So he can't win this. I like Beat the Bat. I must have put him up many times in his career. I think he was one of my first anti-post slips for Cheltenham last year. And in fairness, he did manage to squeeze 4th out of the Coral Cup. He went over Fences, like you said. I don't think that's going to be his game. But the reason I like him is he's hung around this mark and ran with credit for quite a while. The sort of low 130s, mid 130s, and he's always competitive. Those at the top of the market are all going up quite rapidly, and the likes of Lanesborough. I think there's a huge difference from playing in the sort of 115s, 120s, and then jumping into your 130 type horses. So they're all on hat tricks. The 3 at the head of the market. But they've all got to carry a lot more weight as a result of it. And Beat the Bat, this is his sort of level. provided him going over fences last time hasn't put him out of any sort of stride on his hurdles. I think he's bang there. He must be off the same sort of mark. He did come fourth in the Coral Cup, and in front of him that day was Jimmy Desoy, Impose Toir, and Ballyadam. So any sort of level like that, I'd say it'd be tough to beat here.
Yeah, it's interesting to say fencing may not be his game, but we know he's bang at it in these handicap hurdles and cavalry charges. Interesting. So Joel, very much a friendship. Frankie with Beat the Bat in the Lanzarote. Right, there's one race for the ITV cameras at Fairyhouse as well over in Ireland, and I keep mentioning we are now here at Betfred best odds guaranteed on all UK and Irish races, both in shop and online, including this one at Fairyhouse, the Dan and Joe Memorial over the extended 2 mile. It looks wide open. I mean, we know talk about good Gordon Elliott of the spell that he has been having. I expect his Touch Me Not maybe up towards the 4 of the market. Gavin Cromwell's got a couple. Willie Mullins represented as well. It's who you expect in these competitive 2 mile handicaps, Frankie.
It is, yeah. It's a good race, this, and I'm talking away from Saturday's action as we record this on Friday, but Road to Cheltenham's going to be interesting when we do that on Monday, more so for the fact that Willie Mullins still can't find a good novice hurdler, as he's had a couple of beat over in Ireland. But back to Fairyhouse and the 140 on Saturday. Your eyes got to be drawn to Danny Mullins at the moment. He keeps riding winners sort of almost out of turn because he's obviously not leading jock for Mullins. But Tully Hill, I think, could go all right here. Was pulled up last time out, stopped fairly quickly, but over 2.5 miles on soft, sort of heavy ground. I don't think that's his game. Back to 2 miles on what will be slightly better ground. As I said, Danny's riding in a fair bit of form, and now into a handicap like this, he's off of 143, which is on its way down. I think this could be the perfect sort of middle ground for a horse like him that's not a grade 2, grade 1 horse, but has found himself on a winnable mark in a handicap full of horses that have got to carry a little bit more weight than him. So I'd give Tully Hill a decent chance here.
You mentioned novice hurdlers. I know we had one beating at Nason on Friday. Obviously got the Moscow Flower on Saturday at Punters Town with a couple of entries. And that first race at Fairyhouse, Macho Man and Proactive, 2 very highly touted novice hurdlers from the Mullins Yard as well. So they've still got plenty of ammunition to fire, but you're right, he's still waiting for something towards the top of the market in those novice hurdles. Joel, what wins this the Dan and Joe Moore Memorial?
I don't expect anybody away, but I went round in circles, absolute circles with this race. Some old favourites in there as well, you know, like Blood Destiny, Tully Hill, who Frankie mentioned. And without seeing the prices, I would have looked at Touch Me Not for Gordy, who's still just, you know, mopping up, isn't he? The kid claims £5. I think it's James Smith. He's ridden the horse before, and it was 15, 16 lengths behind. Found a 50. Dino Blue. Is it Hercules de Sol or Heracles de Sol? Yeah. So something like that. With absolutely no conviction whatsoever. I think it'll be a race to watch, and some nice names in there as well. But token selection will be Touch Me Not, but I wouldn't be going in at all.
Okay. 10 races, one and done within half an hour. There you are. No waffle, just winners. That is what we like. We need best bet time there. Frankie, did we start with your best bet?
We did, yeah. Moon Phases in the 115 from Warwick for Lucinda Russell and Scoo. And if you were brave enough, you'd double it up with Martown in the big one there as well, hoping for a day for the team.
Smashing out in a Barney Rubble. Lucinda Russell, Michael Scudamore, Barney Rubble. Joel, best bet?
Best bet's got to be Friendship in the Lanzarote. Does I have anything else for you this weekend? I'm sure I made some of the notes.
Outside of the...
Yeah, there's something else this weekend. I can't remember what it was. What's your best bet of the weekend, Matt? We very rarely ask you, and you're the only one that keeps in profit.
Stop out. I don't have a bet. Well, that's what I did kind of like Frankie's angle on Beat the Bat. He's a horse that I do like. Interested, gone back over hills. Just a little bit of a worry if they did try chasing, and this is a bit more now of an afterthought. Ludor, do you think, sort of huge chance up in trip as well? I know you've tipped that one up in the Pertemps qualifier. If I was really pressed, I'm looking in the opener at Kempton, actually. It looks a real hot race, but Baron Noir, he's going to be short, but I really like that Crystal D'Estravel form. I think he's a really nice horse of Harry Derham's Crystal D'Estravel. I know he cost a lot. He chased him home at Warwick, then won easily at Utoxeter, and he puts that form to the test in what's a good race the opener at Kempton at 12.20. So, if pressed to say short, but I do like Crystal Destraval as a horse going forward. So hopefully that form can be advertised with Baron Noir for your mates, Joel, the ITV Racing Club.
Aye, too right. Having a flyer. Yeah, I go at Lanzarote with their friendship, and I probably double it up as well with Lador, who goes, 15 minutes later at Warwick. I think that'll be me double for the weekend. So yeah, let's hope it's all on. Let's hope we have some winners. And quite excited.
That is it. That is the thought. Let's hope it's all on. 8 o'clock inspection for Kempton, 8 o'clock as well at Warwick in the morning. Best of luck to the clerk of the courses for getting the action on. Join us for the road to Cheltenham, of course, on Monday. We'll have a look back at the action, and we'll just have a little look back at those championship races as well for the road to Cheltenham. That's on Monday. So don't forget, like and subscribe, and we'll let you know when that is coming your way. But as I keep saying, best offers, best odds, guaranteed, all UK and Irish racing in shops and online right now at Betfred. Take advantage of it. It's the best offer around. Right, boys, we'll see you Monday. Best luck with your picks, as we say here at Betfred. On the Punters Guide, no waffle, just winners.